Hey everybody, today's video will be a wall-mounted bookshelf. It's very straightforward, it's nothing really too difficult. It's just making sure that the measurements are accurate. So stay tuned for the build and I'll try to kind of walk you through the cuts and everything I'm doing. Okay, so for this first part, I'm going to be cutting down the board. I'm going to start making the sides first. Now, as you've guessed, because I'm using a 1x5, the width of this is only 4.5 inches. The width for the bookshelf that I'm going to be doing is going to be 6 inches wide. So I'm going to have to basically cut two pieces that are 9 inches in height. I'm going to glue them together, and then I'm going to cut them down so that way I get my 6 inches out of the board. I could have used, obviously, a longer board, or a wider board, I'm sorry, but it was going to be way more expensive, and there wouldn't have been any way for me to keep the cost down, at least nothing to the $30 in this case. Alright, now on this part I'm going to be cutting the front slats. I'm going to be cutting two sets. The first set is going to be 37.5 inches wide, and the second set is going to be 25.5 inches wide. Then from there I'm going to take them over to the table saw, and then I'm going to rip them down so that way I get 1.5 inches width on the board, on the front slats. Okay, now for the bottoms of the shelves, same thing as the sides. Because the boards that I'm using are only 4.5 inches wide, that means I have to cut two of them that are the same length and then glue them together side by side and then rip them down to the width, in this case the 6 inches in width.
Guys, this is recording. Where did my dad go? Oh! Why did you do that?
You get scared?
Yes. Where were you?
Do the other one. Okay, now hopefully you should have something that looks similar to this. And this is again using three 1x5x8s, just whitewood common boards. Because of these knots that are in this whitewood, that's going to be the problem. If you decide to paint it white, if you're going to stain it, then it's not really a big deal. Just sand it. It'll give it character. If you decide you want to paint it white, then we do have to seal it because these nuts can come through the paint. So I'm going to end up using probably sanding sealer, if not maybe some Bondo or wood filler or something, just basically to cover this up, and then paint it white. And none of these knots should show through the white paint. So we have the two small slats. These are the ones that are going to go on the small bookshelf on the front. The big ones on the front. There's going to be the bottom of the big shelf, and these, it's basically 1.5, and this is 4.5. That gives me my 6 inches right there for the bottom of it. The big one, or I'm sorry, the small one. This is the bottom part again, the 4.5, and then the other one, 1.5 inches in width, and that gives me my 6 inches. And these 4 here are the sides. 2 of these go on the big one, 2 of these go on the small one. These put together give me my depth, 6 inches, and these are 9. I cut them a little bit prouder than 9 inches because I anticipated when I glue them together, they're going to end up maybe coming off a little bit. I'm going to try to line them as best as I can, so that way I don't have to do any of that. And then it's just a matter of trimming them down to perfectly 9 inches, and then doing a cutout design here that it's basically a quarter of a circle. Alright, so remember when I said earlier that I kind of left these panels a little bit bigger than 9 inches just to account for the offset. So even when after I glued them together and I tried to get them as straight as I could, you can still see there's like a little, hopefully you can see that, there's like a little misalignment on both ends. So that's why I kind of cut them oversized, so that way I can just cut them down to 9 inches perfectly with the miter saw.